Yeah, I know a country named Australia. Of course I know a country named Australia. It's the most important country in the world. All the koalas and kangaroos know about that. They know it's most important. They're highly educated. That's what I know. Where is Australia? Everybody knows where Australia is. We learn it at school. It's in maps, you know. Australia's in maps. That's where it is. Great big island or continent or something has got oceans all around it. Everybody knows where Australia is. It's about 2,000, no, maybe 10,000 tuna away from New Zealand. It's about maybe 1,000 sharks away from Papua New Guinea. Of course we know where Australia is. What is Australia like? It's like a circle, except it's not a circle. It's shaped a bit like a kangaroo that's rolled up on its back. It's but you've got to remember there's Tasmania. There's a little, it's not that little, an island at the base named Tasmania. Something they forgot at the Commonwealth Games. They got all these kids to come out and, you know, get in the shape of Australia, and they forgot Tasmania. Australians forgot Tasmania. Oh, that's what Australians are like, and that's what Australia's like. A bit of fun. Am I Australian? Of course I'm Australian. Can't you see? I'm dressed up very well. I'm very articulate. I'm an Australian. It's in my blood. Australia's in my blood. Well, actually it can't fit in my blood. It'd be a bit strange having Australia roaming around in my blood. A very big continent. And that's what it is, a great big, well, would you say it's a continent or an island? There's a lot of debate about that. It's a great place. It's mostly desert. People don't realise that when they look on the map from far away. There's desert. They must make it green on the maps or something. People are coming here in the boatloads. They love it before they get here, and you know, they adapt when they get here usually. It's a good place. I like it. I like Australia. I've been here all my life. It's a genetic problem of me. I'm Australian. Oh yeah, what are Australians like? Extremely sensible people, you know, totally rational. Do all the right things, like, oh yeah, some of them have, well, quite a lot are having drugs these days, you know, and alcohol and cigarettes, yeah, they do the right things, you know. It's a bit hard to say who Australians are. Well, they're the Indigenous Australians, there's the white Australians that came and took over from them, and then there's the Asian Australians that took over from them. There are lots of other people too. The Australians are Pakistanis and Indians and Yugoslavians and the British, you know, the British, the pompous British, the very confident Americans. They're all here. Are any Australians famous? Shane Warne. You know, Shane Warne, he's a very famous Australian. I'm not sure if it's for his cricket. He's been doing lots of things other than his cricket, and it's always made public. He's usually naked when he does things. He's a popular guy. He's very famous. Liz Hurley knows all about him. She knows his style. A lot of us aren't famous, actually. We're just ordinary people, you know. Like me, I'm an ordinary person, and Australians don't deal with being famous. Australians deal with being not famous. We're good at that, you know. Talent. What do Australians do for fun? Well, I told you, all the normal things: drugs, alcohol, tobacco. Well, they have sex too. Some Australians even have sex. It creates babies. Far too many sometimes, but Australians deal with that. You know, they know that if they have sex just once, it can lead to looking after a baby for 20 years. Oh, God, Australians know all about that. They've been doing it for years. Yeah, Australians do other things, of course they do. Me, I do mathematics, you know. Lots of people would love to do mathematics like I do, because they're getting sick of sex, you know. What were the earliest Australians like? Well, some of the Australians now are like seagulls and pelicans and kangaroos and koalas and goannas, the Tasmanian tiger. Well, maybe it's deceased. Tasmanian devil. Oh, I don't know. Never know which is which. And but they're not. The earliest Australians were dinosaurs, you know. Whopping big dinosaurs. They roamed Australia. That's what created our social system here. Dinosaurs. Some people think that the convicts are who had the biggest influence here, but it was really the dinosaurs. They just had a certain style, you know. They just ripped each other apart, you know. That was the behaviour that started Australian society. Dinosaurs, yeah. Are Australians intelligent? Of course Australians are intelligent. Australians have got brains, you know. In some countries the brains are between their ears, but in Australia they're I don't know where they are, maybe in their big thumbs, I don't know. Not in their genitals, I'm not going to say that. Actually, it might be true. Some Australian brains are in their genitals, but that's where they do their thinking. I'm not sure it's much thinking. But, yeah, Australians attempt to be intelligent. They've got an education system, you know, and they grow up and they know what spelling is, but a lot of us can't do it, you know. We attempt to write, you know, every 5 years or so, and sometimes we spell a word right, you know. It's or is it left? But we don't spell it correctly anyway. But we know about we do know a bit about adding up and stuff, you know. 5 + 6 = 12, of course, but we have a different system, you know. I know lots of people around the world think you should be correct, but we quite like being incorrect because we're Australian, and that's what Australians should do. Be incorrect. We do use computers, you know. We're obsessive on computers. We virtually don't talk to each other. We use computers so much. We think we're communicating, but I don't know. I don't know if there are people really at the other end of the computer, you know. They say it's the internet, but what is it? Is it some espionage thing? That, you know, it's Julian Assange. You know, he's Australian, and he's had a big impact on the world and communication. He's a very popular man, but he's Australian, and that's important. What are Australian politicians like? Oh God, how do I describe them? We've had Pauline Hanson. You know, she was very popular, and they seem to get rid of her because of her popularity. But some of her attitudes or opinions were not socially acceptable, you know, for some people, you know, but mostly the LNP and the Labor Party, you know, but there's Bob Catter, he's as outspoken as they come, you know, and Kevin Rudd, he gave wonderful answers to everything, but Australians didn't really want wonderful answers to everything. They just wanted to know minute amounts about nothing, actually. That's what Australians like. They like the basic things. You know, they like, if somebody asks a question, they want an answer that's not an answer. You know, something that's within about one word and missaid, you know. What language do Australians speak? What do you think I'm doing? I'm speaking, you know. This is Australian. It's pretty much like American because we watch so much television, you know. We've been brought up on television. Most of it's American language, eh? We don't say bloke anymore. We say guy, you know. We speak the main language of the universe, American. What language I just told you. Is psychiatry necessary in Australia? Psychiatry never made sense. Psychiatry is an invention by weird people like Sigmund Freud, you know. It's psychiatry is sort of like bullshit. The people who use psychiatry are called psychiatrists. That's what I've been told. They're sort of people with personality disorders. They really can't stand. Sorry, they can't stand them. Yeah, they can't understand real people. You know. In Australia, psychiatrists can't understand Australians. I don't know. I think psychiatrists speak pidgin. Taught by a pigeon. They say psychiatrists are educated, but I can't see that a person's really educated if the person just sat there staring at a book for 20 years of his or her life. You know, that's not education. Education is really about spending a little bit of time reading books, but actually meeting people and learning how to talk with them. Psychiatrists can only say, how do you feel today? Has anything strange happened? Have you ever had any aggressive thoughts? You know, Australia's a much better country than one that has too many psychiatrists. Anyway, we got lots of people. We got police. They do wonderful jobs. They round up the psychiatrists when they get drunk. What? What is employment like in Australia? Employment, how would I know what employment in Australia is like? God, what do you think I am, a worker? We don't work in Australia, we just hang around on the pension. That's what I'm doing. I'm a pensioner. I was just too intelligent for work. You know, I'd go to work and they'd say, what's this, galah? You know, it's, and when I worked, the harder I worked, the more I was hated at work. You know, we don't necessarily work in Australia. We try to party, you know, that's what it's about. You party and that's not bad. You know, I think it's much better to go to the beach and watch the cute chicks than go to work. God, what do you think I am? This is Australia.